Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation, no introduction. Synergy is harmonious. Sensorality is harmonicality. We have a simple harmonic oscillator, a spring, a mass on a spring. I always had some really deep intuitions about a harmonic oscillator, an oscillation, oscillator, vibration. But harmony, again, that's another one we covered. Harmony, or how do we go from positive connotation, negative connotation, the simple harmonic oscillator. And remember, the most simple object is a string, right? So that's where, right, string theory is wrong in the physics, physics research, but the emergence of why it's called string theory. String is the most simple way you can be a thing. And so it's just interesting for the simple harmonic oscillator. Daunting is imposing. Imposition is challenging. Sensorality is repressive. Sensorality is impressive. Rival, revel. Right, last episode we derived rival, but it's just showing you the form that rival and derive are the same base. Sensorality revels. Reveling is wondering in awe, right? Revel at Brad's great mathematics. Please don't. But again, just connecting all of our logic. Normality is predictability. Anticipation predicts. Sensorality anticipates. Anticipate, participate. Participating includes. Sensorality excludes. Exclusion is censorship. Remember, we're going to derive sensorality, and it'll give us again the next form of the form of our next axiom. Behavior is experiential. Experiential, experience. Sensorality is experientiality. Sensorality regulates behavior. Sensorality relates experience. Sensorality regulates emotionality. Right? What is emotion to experience? Right? If we have a negative emotion, you're saying something is inefficient. If we have a positive emotion, we're saying something is efficient. Courage is valiant. Sensorality is valiantality. Sensorality is compliant. Compliant, complaint. Another fundamental dichotomistic pair, a direct iteration of the A and the I. Temporality is thermality. So again, we've covered it is what it is the general form of all solutions. We're iterating sensorality as our specific solution. But really effectively what we're doing is we're deriving thermodynamics, right? Because I'm a system with temperature, you're a system with temperature, everything else around us is moving, so it has a temperature. So really, physically, what we're doing is we're re-deriving the laws of thermodynamics, but with correct and complete ontology. Temporality is thermality. Sensorality is temporality. Sensorality is operationality. Operation, expiration. Sensorality expires. To expire is to die. What sound, okay, so now here we can connect, we're trying to connect, we're going from fundamental physical process to sound, then onomatopoeia-ish to a word. And so what sound does a sensor make? And if you're just listening, it will be spelled out on your screen. Again, remember, C-E-N-S-E-R is the correct spelling. We've proven that. That's the correct spelling for an inanimate object that's a sensor. And sensor, when you spell S-E-N-S-O-R, that's reference to animate objects. But what sound does a sensor make? If you do something wrong and it gets blocked, if you run out of time in a basketball game, right, the buzzer goes, Sensorality ernts. And you can see it on the screen. That the ER sound the two letters in the sound is now it's jumping out to me on a personal level. Where when these reductions happen, it just anytime I see it, any exposure to language, all of these identities are just poignantly right there. And so when I derived that, I don't even know what to say still. The ER of every word is just highlighted for me right now. So sensorality ernts, surality cernt. So now we have again that A palindrome or anagram, the one where it's the same letters in a different order, like words and sword from 2 episodes or 3 episodes ago. Ernts, right? Like that's a verb. And then cernt, which isn't really a word yet at all, but it's the same letters. ERNTS, and then you take the S and put it in front. Serality, cernt. Dissent, dissension. Sensorality is scensionality. And even we can jump back and go cerntality, but again, we can't miss this fundamental theorem, right? Because all of this logic centralizes back to very simple physical principles. And those principles represent physical processes. And so we have sensorality is scensionality, but I definitely should have continued on with cerntality. Because remember, in the same way we have derive and rivalry are the same word form. Right now we have our solution, sensorality is ready to go. You know, what form of that doesn't really matter, but there's going to be a very clear form of the word again where it's going to expand out in the same way derive, rivalry. It's going to be like that. So scensionality is scensionality. In the same way you have dissension. Ascension, descension, to go up and to go down. Sensorality is scensionality. Compromise concedes. Sensorality concedes. Sensorality is concessionality, right? The concession stand. You go to a stadium and watch sports. You go to the concession stand. What are you conceding? What concession are you making? Again, just talking through logic. Confessionality admits. Concession, confession. Admissionality accepts. Ingenuity is innovative. Innovation improves. A gasket is a valve. And so I literally just heard my mom say, he's going to blow a gasket. Right? And just all of this imagery, right? Conceptualization is consistent. Experience is consistent. Experientiality is consistent. That's why the words that we say give you the same images. It's because we all experience the same things. So just continuing on with our derivation, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.